Maybe I should start getting some.
Maybe you should start growing your beard out and stop trimming it.
I'm not. This is going as fast as it can go. I literally have not been trimming. Like anything from here, I have not touched. This is the only thing I've been touching. Is this? I don't need this to be obnoxious. But this has been growing. It is actually longer.
It's actually longer.
Like compared to, I could probably find like a month-old picture somewhere.
Meanwhile, I can thread my beard into a DNA helix.
Well, how long have you been growing that thing?
Years.
Well, then.
My beard grows about 1 millimeter per decade. So,
centigrade.
Yep.
All right.
Every now and then I'll comb it and I'll see one hair fall out and I'm like, oh, no, there's 4 years of my life gone.
Shit. Okay.
Terrible.
Yeah, that's fine. We're good.
Don't know how to do it.
Oh, yeah.
Don't know how else
Let me
to
make
do
sure
it.
these microphones are actually...
Are they?
Yeah. Bleh! Okay.
Test.
Yeah.
Testing?
Yeah.
Testing?
Test-
Testicular cancer.
Testes.
Testes? Testicle. Testicular.
That was my Barney Gumble.
Testosterone.
Testament. Third. Oh, wait, no, we're using test. Test.
Testament. Testosterone, testosterone, testicular, testicles.
Testing.
Testing.
Tests.
Where? Why does testicle and test? Why do you think that has the same root word?
I don't know.
Are our testicles a
Hello,
test?
one viewer again.
The root word for testicle being test. Are they a test? Are they
I think that's what it is.
Is the purpose of them as a test?
They're a testament to
Testament.
our...
See, that's another one. Testament also has that
Test.
test prefix.
Let's see. Test.
What is a prefix test? Because if you test something, you're trying to learn about it, or you're trying to... If you're testing something, you're determining its qualities, or you're determining its characteristics. You're trying to determine something.
Right.
So, if we're testicles, we are trying to determine...
We should just have like an out of context reel.
We're trying to determine something.
Can we just do an out of context reel and just
What-
put like everything that's just super out of context back to back, like
Yes.
just a quick cut to every like little bit.
Do you know who has the best out of context scenes? Vsauce. Hey, Vsauce, Michael here. He has some of the best out of context clips ever. Like, sorry, after the podcast, I have to play you one.
Yeah.
Vsauce out of context is some of the best shit ever. What the fuck was that?
Derp. That's what I'm saying. We just gotta make a whole gag reel. I got it all backed up, so I can just go back into my folder and just like, okay, that, and then we could put like, what's that song in V for Vendetta where the Parliament's blowing up?
It's very difficult for me to think when you're.
I thought I gave you a pretty good idea.
I know what you're
the song
talking
is.
about.
And that's the
It's ode. No. Wait.
Okay, Siri. Oh, it's not okay, Siri. I can't even use the right command. Okay, Siri. Hey, Siri. What is da 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 da?
Are you really fucking stupid?
I think
Siri's not gonna do
I think
it.
you could pick it up. I think there was an update where it would pick up like
No,
that.
it's I think it's.
I'm just gonna type B for Vendetta, Parliament blowing up, and get this song. It's like this,
Yeah, the 1812 Overture. Yeah.
There we go.
The 1812
That's
Overture,
old enough, right?
You know, so here's the thing. The 1812 Overture, which is interesting, it's kind of entertaining that it's played in... Because it's a very common thing to be played during the American Independence Day stuff, like for fireworks and stuff. But it was written by Tchaikovsky, who's a Russian dude. He was also gay and forcefully castrated by the Russian government as a result of it.
Oh my.
Yeah. It's, I don't know what it is about Russia and the gays, but...
I feel like they're just so hyper masculine that I bet you everybody in...
Hyper masculine, but the roots of their culture is ballet, castles, and fairies.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like a front. It's like they're just trying to compensate for...
Jesus Christ, that's like a chatterbait tip.
The fuck was that?
I don't know, it's a chatterbait tip.
I just let out a toot.
We're cam boys now, Chris. We're cam boys.
We're in Chatterbait. We're e-boys.
E-boy, what's that?
Oh, wait, it's
like e-girl, but not.
Yeah.
I
Keep
see.
it in multi-stream. Anyways, let's do the intro, I guess, after all that.
Roll the intro.
Here we go. Sorry, I have my app synced up apparently.
Oh, jeez.
That's why I got the mouse
Monster.
right
What
here.
did you do with your life?
Bros and brolettes,
Vikings and Valkyries.
welcome to Iron Theory.
A podcast about fitness, life, and everything in between.
I'm Chris.
I'm Arthur. I like how we did it backwards this time.
I know. I was like, well, that's the first. Like that was the next line that just came to mind. So I'm like, I'm just gonna say it.
Cool.
I'm just
So
gonna
you're
say it.
I'm gonna say it.
I'm just gonna say it.
I just need to say one thing,
I don't care that you broke your elbow.
and then got elbow surgery and died of a pulmonary embolism.
You
3
remember
days
that
later.
meme where it's like that like nerdy kid? He's like, there's like in class or something, and he just like turns around in his chair. He's like, I'm just gonna say it. I don't care that you broke your elbow.
I don't remember the meme, but a bodybuilder just died.
Oh,
or whatever his name was, Harmon.
He's like 55 years old.
Yeah, he
or
was
something.
55.
It was apparently like a freak accident. It was like he had some kind of reconstructive surgery for something.
Yeah, on his elbow, and he got a pulmonary embolism.
That's it. Yeah.
That sucks.
That's fucked
Rip.
up. Rip indeed. Stay ripped.
Dude, no, seriously though, like bodybuilders die young.
But what
Like,
are
holy
the
shit.
chances of like something like that happen? Like how common is that?
Very rare, but with the number of surgeries that occur, you know, it's like the risks of a surgery are always present, no matter how small. Something like going under for like a root canal or whatever, which is why dentists don't really put you completely under. Going under full sedation is huge. Like, if you die in surgery, it's very rarely something the surgeon did. Like even if it's brain surgery, it's very rarely something the surgeon did. It's usually the anesthesiologist. Dude, the malpractice insurance for an anesthesiologist is insane.
Jesus, they're like, yeah, we
Dear
just
God, yeah.
rack up bodies so that we cover this shit.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, literally, it's how close can you get to turning someone's body off before they die? Like that's literally the field of study, is how can you turn the body off just so they're not dead.
Just
As close
borderline
to
dead.
As close to dead as possible, but
You
not
have those
dead.
like
Yeah.
near-death experiences and come back and talk about them.
Yeah, but that's just
Sell
all
some books.
That's all DMT, man. That's all DMT.
Right. All right. Anyways, we are
Talking
here.
about cardio.
We're talking about cardio. I guess why cardio? Why are we talking about cardio?
Because it's important for your heart health, because as Americans, we have a very unhealthy diet and unhealthy work-life balance. We sit a lot, and in many places in the country, you don't really walk places. Like we live in a city, so like, yeah, walking to the store makes sense to us. But in many places, like, you have to get into a car and drive. My brother lives in Texas. See, even in Dallas, like, there are, like, sidewalks don't really exist. Like, you actually need to drive places. And that really is the majority of the country the moment you leave a city. So our opportunities for cardio are relatively limited. And cardio is important for your cardiovascular health, so you don't die at 50 of a heart attack like every male in my family since the beginning of time.
Sorry, I had to get that slow-mo.
Rip.
I had to zoom in on the bang can as you were talking about heart attacks and dying.
Warning, too much caffeine may cause nervousness, irritability, sleeplessness, and occasionally rapid heartbeats. Well, there you go. Rapid heartbeat. That's cardio.
Ah, there you go.
Cardio in a can.
You know what?
Thank you, energy drinks.
And just to kind of go off of that a little bit, as far as like why cardio, because cardio is such a simple thing that anybody can do. You can literally get off your fucking ass, off your fucking couch, go out your fucking door, and just walk out, right? Like, it's such a simple concept, right?
And if you're a fat fuck, just getting out of your chair might be cardio.
Right, exactly. So it's such an easy thing for most people to just do and pick up, especially if somebody's obese, morbidly obese. Like, some kind of movement is required. So that I feel like cardio is that bare minimum for a lot of people to get the ball rolling as far as, getting to a healthier body composition.
And it's not even body composition or anything like that. It's literally, like, I don't care if you're thin or whatever. Cardio is just, in general, necessary for good heart health.
Yeah.
Like, it's a muscle like any other, and if you don't work it, it's gonna start failing on you. It's the single most important, like, legitimately, in terms of, like, oh my god, do this for your health. No, literally. Cardio is quite possibly the single most important thing physically, I mean, obviously a diet, that you can do for your health. Nobody's denying that. But how do cardio?
How do cardio? That's why.
How do cardio?
Like you and me. I mean, I know you love riding your bike. I just recently started to be a bit more appreciative of cardio, which is hilarious because I'm a personal trainer, and that's one of the things I'll prescribe to a client to do more of if they're stuck a little bit or if they haven't been doing anything. So the bare minimum, I'd want them to do some kind of variation of cardio that's very easy to do. But I definitely found more of a newfound appreciation for cardio. Just I kind of get in the zone. Like, once I start, even on the treadmill, I get my music going and I'm going at a pretty good pace. I'll go like a 6 or whatever and run. And it does feel good. Like, you once, especially with like breathing patterns, like I'll pay attention to my breathing. I'll time my breath, like every 2 steps, like I'll just notice it. It's like almost like I'm playing the drums with my lungs.
Yeah.
Actually,
there are so many, only because we're friends with Philip, who was on the podcast once.
Sure.
Who's the triathlete, Ironman, in our friend group.
Lungs of Steel.
It's a whole thing about, like, how do you control breathing on a run, on a swim, on a bike, because there is a particular cadence. And there are different breathing patterns that people do. It's kind of like how bodybuilders and powerlifters might argue about rep ranges and like whether doing triples or fives or whatever. Runners will debate breathing patterns and breathing cycles and like it, yeah.
Yeah. And that's funny because for one session I was helping this pastor, out of all people. He was training for a triathlon, right? And he wanted me to observe his running. His what do they call it?
Cadence, stride.
There's another word for it. It's like oh god. Let's just say stride, whatever. But there's some other word, but anyways.
Gait.
That's it. That's
Yeah,
it. That's
a
a gait. Yep.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the word. I was like, it's like with a G. Gait. Yeah. So. But the main thing usually from when I observe, because I'm not like a super expert on running and stuff like that, but I will notice things that's happening with his like hips. Like, there's this knee knocking thing he was kind of doing. So there was a lot of like hip mobility things. And then after I talked to him a bit more, he mentioned he had like some kind of groin injury or something, which kind of explains that, So, but it was just very fascinating that there's so many different ways people can run, depending on, genetics and issues and length, torso length, blah blah blah. But yeah, very fascinating. There's so much stuff that goes into it because it's like so easy for me to say, oh yeah, you just run.
You're right, because there is so much more into that. It's like when seemingly simple things when you really try to become an expert at it, it becomes super complicated. It's like the deadlift. In theory, right, it's the easiest lift. It's on the floor, grab it, pick it up, right?
Right.
But in practice, it is probably like one of the most debated, one of the most technical lifts in powerlifting.
Definitely.
Because I can't think of a single lift that is more debated on how to do best than the deadlift. And runners will have it too. Heel strikers versus toe strikers versus flat foot strikers, and
man, it almost sounds like there's more to it for running than it is even for like a deadlift. You know, because like that can make or break, and I feel it's like so. Well, I guess you could say the same about deadlift, where like your genetic. The genetic lottery that your body, your femur from your, just your limbs as far as like lengthwise makes a difference as far as like, having short legs and running versus having a longer legs, longer stride and running and stuff like that. So much stuff that you can think about.
I'm very conscious of it because we were hiking a long time ago and I was literally counting.
Right.
It like how many steps do I take
4 and 2
to take your amount of steps,
uh-huh.
and it was a 1.5 to 2 ratio. So for every 1.5 steps you take, I need to take 2 steps.
Okay. Well, that's interesting.
And that was the thing. And it seems like, but that's so little. Like, no, that's a 50% difference.
Right.
Like, that is a huge 25, 1 point, whatever. It is a massive, massive difference. It's 25%.
I mean, when you look at like Olympic runners, man, I mean, they're all built pretty similarly because it's
thin and lanky.
With long exactly. Legs, just very long limbs. To just propel them through gravity, right?
It was always the weirdest thing watching Olympic marathons. Not so much sprinters, because sprinters have a build, like they're jacked in general. But marathon runners, like top tier professional marathon runners, they look almost sickly. It's weird. Yeah. Like they are so lanky, and it looks like they're fucking like their legs are sticks. But then if you poke them,
just the bone.
It's like touching a rock.
It's like dense
that muscle is like dense as shit.
Super dense.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's because they run for distances, right?
100 miles at a time. For ultra runners. But running is not the end all be all of cardio, right? When people think cardio, the first image people get is running, and I think that's unfair. And I think that's where cardio gets a bad rap, and I think that's why a lot of bodybuilders tend not to mind cardio. It's something they have to do, right?
Especially for like contest prep stuff.
Yeah,
they're doing some kind of.
But that's something that like powerlifters, like when you say the word cardio, the first thing that comes to mind to most people is running.
Yep.
I'm not even willing to say running is the best form of cardio.
Yeah, I mean, I would say like we had this talk before air, and it really comes down to when it comes down to you the lifter or the person that's trying to be fit, you need to choose cardio that you enjoy doing, because if I say just go on a treadmill and walk for an hour or whatever, like they might do it, like they might do that. But is that something they truly enjoy? Are they going to keep doing that after the month of doing it or whatever? Like, are they still doing it consistently? So it needs to be something that you enjoy.
Right. But then think about it. If you're doing cardio for the sake of doing cardio, so you're not preparing for a competition, right? You're not a runner. You're not doing anything sports specific, right? Mm-hmm. All forms of cardio have the exact same goal, and that's to get your heart rate up. Like that's why it's called cardio. It's cardiovascular activity.
Exactly.
It's training your heart. Cardio is anything that gets your heart rate up.
Exactly. So aerobic exercise versus more what we typically do, which is anaerobic or lack of oxygen, because it's very quick bursts. We're not necessarily doing it the whole time without stop for a whole hour.
Right,
like
exactly.
That would be aerobic or cardio or whatever. So
my workouts are powered by lactic acid fermentation.
Right. Yeah. But I mean, going back to just like the different variations of cardio. I mean, I enjoy a bike too. Like you're a big cyclist kind of person. And I think it's just being outside. and I'm sitting but pedaling.
Sitting but pedaling.
But
Yeah,
you
isn't it
see,
great?
but it still gets very intense, especially if you take
Yeah.
different inclinations and different types of roads and stuff like that. But there's just a lot to see, and just makes it enjoyable.
There is, and then so here's kind of the interesting thing. There it has been an ongoing debate in the like medically speaking. I'm not, like I mean in the actual medical community over what type of cardio was best. Is it high intensity interval or is it steady state? Like what is the best cardio? And
I have an idea, but
right
go ahead.
now the evidence suggests HIIT is
Oh,
best for cardiovascular
okay.
health.
I was wrong.
Right now, the current general trend in evidence, but yet again, 2 years ago, it was steady state.
Okay.
So, like, this has been flip-flopping back and forth for, like, the last couple of decades. One study comes out, then another study comes
I
out.
wonder-
HIIT versus steady state.
Yeah, I wonder what the specifics are for that. Like, what specifically changed it from steady state being not the optimal way to do cardio versus, high intensity interval training style of cardio?
So the general thought is how it's not just can you get your heart rate up. It's not just it's also how quickly can you get your heart rate up.
Okay.
And then how quickly can you get your heart to slow back down.
So
And that's because it used to be, cardiovascular activity, longevity, and then they did all these long-term studies. But now the studies are trying to be like, okay, but is it just the heart rate that we're studying? Is that the important thing? Or is it how quickly your body can adjust, right? The actual homeostasis. of
Okay.
it. How quickly can your body adjust to a high heart rate to a low heart rate?
Right.
And it's about bouncing it back and forth. And now the evidence is suggesting that HIIT, if you're training for the sake of cardiovascular health, that might be better than like steady state cardio.
I see. I guess that makes sense. It's almost like you're doing like reps for your heart because you're going up,
Right.
and then you're bringing it down, and then you're doing these intervals, right? So you're going from a more steady but above resting heart rate to something that's a bit more intense, back down, back to something that might be resting or whatever. So I guess that makes sense. It's like an adaptive thing, I guess.
And the weirdest thing is every sport, like every cardiovascular sport that I can think of, has both a steady state and a HIIT variation. So if you think about running, right, that there is the marathon and there is the sprint.
Right.
Or rowing, right? You have the 100-meter sprint, or you have like the long row competitions, or the paddling and stuff.
You know what? It's
And
funny.
in biking, you have cycling, and you have sprint cycling too, but you also have mountain biking. Mountain biking is the
Yeah.
most intense HIIT that I do.
Which is funny you bring up rowing because we have some rowing machines at Export, and you know what? It's surprisingly fun. There's like some weird I don't know, something rewarding about just sitting there on this rower. You're on this like moving seat.
Ripping it, yeah.
And you're just ripping this cord and spinning this little thing through the water, so you're getting this water resistance or whatever.
And
So it's
if you're-
kind of cool.
yeah. And if you're doing it right, it is a full body exercise.
For sure. It's almost like I'm doing like a leg press into like a row into there's
Yeah.
a bunch of stuff going on. So it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I mentioned that I like biking. I mean, I know you like biking, but is that your favorite cardio?
It's hard to call it. It's definitely my favorite cardio to do, and I think there's a distinction to be made here between what cardio that I like to do and I enjoy doing the most versus what I think is the best cardio.
Yeah, and I have an opinion on that, but go ahead.
So I like to bike, but I'm not going to bike every day. It's definitely not an everyday kind of cardio for me. My everyday cardio is walking. I love walking. Walking is by far my favorite cardio. Just get up and go. I did 5 miles before I came here. I just
Oh,
walked.
nice. Yeah, I mean,
like it's low impact. I think walking is better than running because running is super high impact. I mean the amount of torque. I tried to do the math once on it. You put more torque on your knee running than you do squatting 300 pounds. Like
crazy.
it is insane how much impact force, like instantaneous impact force, actually gets put on your knee when you're running, and you get shin splints and shit. But walking to me is probably my favorite cardiovascular activity.
Because it is simple, and like yeah, I mean like walking my dog or something like that. There's an enjoyment because you get to kind of smell the roses and just kind of like take your time with it, and which kind of makes it more into that steady state category, where I honestly do prefer more of a steady state style of cardio myself, just because I'll get my heart rate up, and I'll try to keep it up there. It doesn't necessarily. It might come down a little bit once I start getting comfortable. I'll do, let's say, half an hour out of an hour or something like that. But I just like the rhythm to it, because if it gets too sporadic, like every 2 minutes or 3 minutes I'm doing some crazy fast thing and then slowing it down, I'm just like, it's just too hectic. I like the slight monotony to it, the rhythm, almost like a rocking to it.
It's meditative.
Exactly.
It's
That's
something that you can like zen yourself into,
right?
Which I find really nice, and it's not exhausting, right? Like running 5 miles will tire me out. I'll be sweating and I'll be done. Like that's the workout. Walking 5 miles, yeah, no problem. I went for a walk and I'm good. Like I come back, I can squat today if I want to.
Right.
It's just one of those things. I think walking is legitimately, quite possibly, the greatest cardio ever. Like just go walk like 20 minutes a day. Like just do it.
Get up. Yeah, I mean, even like using it as like a warm up. Like you don't have to necessarily spend all your time, because I would argue that doing like a big session of cardio before a lifting session is gonna deter your performance to an extent, because you'll be a bit more fatigued, right?
Please, if you're a lifter, your cardio is recovery work.
Yeah, I mean, like as far as like, but I'm saying like if you're planning on doing like 30 minutes right before you do like heavy deadlifts or something like that,
right.
Like that same day, I would usually suggest and recommend just doing it on a separate day or doing it after, if you really want. So lift first, unless you want to do warm up, then I would say, okay, 5-10 minutes, something basic.
Yeah, just to get the blood moving and your muscles warmed up. Yeah, but I don't understand people who would do a huge amount of cardio before a workout.
Yeah.
I know some strongmen will do it, but only because it's pre-exhaustion training and they'll do it like for competition prep. Because in a competition, it's day after day, event after event, you're exhausted, right? It's not like, oh, today is deadlift day and tomorrow is log press day. Mm-hmm. Like, no, you have like 4 events in one day and you're going to be tired as shit. And you have multiple attempts and shit. And it's just like you're going to be exhausted in the competition. So exhaust yourself before you train it, and that's a better representation of what the competition is going to be like. So I know that some strongmen will do pre-exhaustion cardio for, but that's very sport specific.
What about walking stairs? As far as like, I mean, would you classify that as walking, or
hate stairs,
or is that like? Would you say that's different?
Fucking hate stairs. I fucking hate stairs.
Yeah.
I cannot stand it. I do not understand how anybody likes it. I understand that stairs are very popular in bodybuilding. I hate stairs.
You know what?
I don't know why. No, if you go on an elliptical, then I don't know.
Right.
Oh God, I hate stairs. I hate stairs.
Well, like remember when we would be like doing hikes and stuff like that? That was big. I mean, I don't really want to call them steps. They were like freaking hurdles, I guess. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess it adds a dynamic to a walk. So if there are people who haven't done any hiking, I would probably recommend going somewhere local, wherever you specifically live, go for a hike, because that's definitely an interesting form of cardio. Because like when I remember every time we would do a hike, I would be like starving, like I'd have the biggest appetite after like walking 10 miles or whatever the hell we would be doing back 10 miles one way, 10 miles back. Yeah, so it's intense. It's stairs.
And when you're it's different than walk, because when you go for a walk, like you don't bring a backpack with you. It's your phone, maybe your keys. I never, like, I'll go for a walk and I'll never have water with me. Whereas when you're hiking, you're in it for the day. So you've got your backpack, your water, your snack. For me, it's like all 30 pounds of my camera gear. All of a sudden, my tripod's hanging off of one side. It's like, it's a lot more than walking.
And I think doing hiking or just going out on a walk where there's a lot of scenery especially for somebody who's just trying to get fit. It's easier and more palatable to do something where something's taking your mind off of what you're supposedly supposed to be doing while you're still doing it.
Oh yeah.
So going biking somewhere where there's a lot of scenic stuff, or doing hiking, that's gonna take your mind off of the experience. Like, oh, I'm just exercising right now. It makes it more enjoyable. So
Right. It's hard to call it exercising when you're just chilling.
yeah, or at least what it feels like chilling. Eventually it's like, okay, I'm getting tired and fatigued from doing all that. But definitely before. No, there's somebody's home.
Yeah, I don't do this during the winter because it's too cold. But and now that it's warming up, my lunchtime walks are coming back in. So I'm lucky enough that I have a pretty long lunch period. Because I have, I'm a teacher, so I have planned periods. So I have a planned period and a lunch period, and then another planned period, which means I have essentially a 2-hour-long lunch.
So that's when you get your walk.
Yeah, so I just get up and I just walk for an hour and a half or something like that, and it really makes the day better. Like, you come back with more energy, like you're ready to go. Like, there's something really human about just getting up and moving.
Right.
It'll make you feel better.
And how'd your walk go the other day? The one where I think you did like a Snapchat of.
Yeah.
Were you in a park or something?
I always walk somewhere. It was nice. It was a little cold today. It was definitely better. It was a great walk, but it's meditative. You get out, you get to sit there. You're kind of in your own head, but with your music in your head, so you get to either zone your head out or you get to zone your music out. Go for a walk, make sad head voice quiet. Yeah,
exactly. That's what I need to do more of. I'm just waiting. I mean, if you can go outside, and I know you hate the cold, I guess I could go out and for a longer walk. I'll probably just walk my damn dog.
Yeah. If it's 50 degrees or up, I'm out. Like I want to be out. I do not want to be in. I want to be out.
It can't be too hot for me though. Like, I feel like when it's like scorching sun, I don't know. Like,
I'm in.
Like, I remember there was this one time we were biking, and I just remember just being dead. I just remember just slowly making my way with you. I just remember just getting beaten by the heat. And
I'm not a runner anymore.
I'm gonna have a heat wave or a heat stroke.
Yeah. I haven't trained running in forever, but when I did early on in my weight loss, like my fastest 5K was done when it was 98 degrees outside.
Yeah, you know what?
I love it. I am all in for the heat. Give me the heat, baby. Give me the heat.
Speaking of
burn me up,
heat and heat strokes, what about like sports? Like, for instance, like when we would play tennis. As far as like cardio, I mean, I think that also makes it a very interesting experience going. Like, as long as you have the capability to do these things with somebody else or whatever, but
do whatever gets your heart rate up. Play basketball, like shoot hoops with your buddies. Fucking throw a football around, throw a frisbee, anything that literally gets your heart rate up. When I fold laundry, my heart, like, cleaning is cardio. Cleaning is cardio. Is your house a mess? And you're trying to get fit, go fucking clean your house. Vacuum your entire house. Let me know how much cardio you did there. You will be tired, let me tell you.
Right. You know what? Another thing, as far as like this being our lifter's guide to cardio, I think a good tool to have is those little watches. Apple Watch or Gear or whatever. Because, like you said, like when you're doing whatever, you're just doing laundry or some shit, and you say you're doing like some kind of intensive activity or whatever, and it's just kind of cool. Gives you some kind of incentive to, like you're achieving something. You did 1 million steps today, great, and
dear God,
it shows you that you've been doing that. I don't know who's doing 1 million steps.
Hey, Google, how many miles is 1 million steps?
500 miles.
Okay. Cute.
And I would walk 500 miles.
Miles 500 more. Yes. Damn, 500 miles.
Perfect.
Holy shit.
Oh my God.
That would be from like here to what, like Wisconsin, like halfway through Wisconsin, or
there are ultra marathons that are 100 miles long, right? That's like an ultra marathon, and I know that there are some crazy runners who will try to do like 100 miles a week, but Dude, is 500 miles in one? That's not even possible. A million steps. That's great.
I got my million
I got
steps
my
in
million
today.
steps in today.
Fuck.
Dude, I think the most I ever got in a day was like 65,000.
Yeah, holy shit, a million steps.
And that must have
500
been like
miles.
20 something miles. Yeah.
That's so fucking crazy, man.
500 miles.
500 miles to walk, to run, to whatever. I mean, even biking 500
No,
miles
I
sounds like
can't.
a lot.
Well,
I mean, maybe on a bike that'd be like the borderline psychotic thing to do, but I feel like it's more doable. But like walking or running 500 miles,
I'm not in the like I know it's like so there's the half marathon and the marathon, and that's 13.1 miles and 26.2 miles. In cycling, you have the half century and the century, which is a 50-mile ride and your 100-mile ride.
gotcha.
I've since only mastered the half distances, so I did a half marathon X number of years ago, and I did a half century last year. 100 miles just seems. I don't think. Yeah, you'd have to be a crazy fit cyclist. Like, I don't think it's impossible. Like I think a cyclist, like an Olympic cyclist, can probably hit a 500 miles in a day. But that's like that's a 24-hour endurance thing.
Yeah, I should at least do a half marathon or something. I've maybe just like when stuff's normal.
It's not worth it.
No.
It's not worth training for. It's not that. One, it's not impressive. Everybody and their mom, like, oh, I did a half marathon. Like,
Right.
just go run your 5K.
Put a sticker on my car.
Go run your 5K fun run, color run. Go do one of those.
Yeah,
Like,
that's what I'm
what
talking
is-
about.
What is a half marathon? Is like my fat fuck ass when I weighed 210 pounds at a half marathon.
Which is
How
impressive, right?
do you really think it is?
I mean, that's impressive.
Now, don't get me wrong. If you finish it in like under an hour, then fuck. All right, whatever. But just
Yeah, it comes down to like
finishing
a time thing.
a half marathon is really not that. I did it on a whim. I was originally gonna go for like a 5-mile run, and I'm like, fuck it, I guess I'm doing a half marathon today.
You just kind of ran into one.
I-
You're like, just give me
ran
the
into a
thing.
half
Just
marathon.
give me the number.
Yeah.
I'm gonna run through this thing real quick.
Yeah, whatever. And I did it as a cross country run actually. So
Yeah.
I made it even harder for myself.
Well, that's
No,
awesome.
it's not that impressive. Like, if you're a runner and you're training for it and you want to do it and you're maybe competing with a friend or something, great. All power to you. It's just unless you actually want to get into the world, it's just not that rewarding. It's not worth doing. It knocked me out for a week.
Yeah.
Like, I was done.
Man, I wonder, like when
Not worth
we
it.
talked about like overtraining, I wonder if that's what that feels like. I guess like especially like let's say you're just not a runner, like that's not what you
Yeah.
do, and then suddenly you do that.
Yeah.
Like I wonder how long your body has to recover from
1
that.
out of 10 wouldn't. Well, back in the day, I was running every day. Like I was doing a 5K every day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was running. Well, running.
Well, whatever.
My short stubby ass is like
Yeah, I mean for you that's running, right?
walking to most people, but to me it's running, right?
This
But,
is
yeah.
what peak performance looks like.
Yeah, this is what peak performance looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else can we say about cardio? Trying to think what we haven't really touched upon because I mean as a concept it's very
cardio.
basic.
Well, so to me, I do cardio as recovery work. It's
'Cause-
the walking,
yeah.
and that's really what it is. And I think if you don't do cardio, you need to view cardio in a way that makes sense to you. For me, I literally enjoy biking. Like, I enjoy cycling. I don't race myself. Sometimes I time myself like, hey, I wonder if I can get to the Botanic Gardens in under an hour today. Like,
Right.
sure, but I don't, it's not something I'm training for. I don't care what distance I do. I mean, sometimes I'll do 30 miles, sometimes I'll do 20 miles, I don't know, or I'll do 50 miles.
Have you tried that virtual shit, the Zwift or whatever?
Yeah, I have a Zwift setup.
How does that work?
It's
It's like
boring.
a gyroscopic thing or some shit. You're pedaling?
Yeah. So what you do is you put your back wheel and it kind of latches into this thing, and your back wheel spins another wheel, and that's what
So it
registers
acts
everything.
like a stationary bike.
Yeah.
pretty
So
much.
it's
a wheel
essentially
bike.
it's a stationary bike, And I mean, it's cool. I mean, you get your screen and you see
There's
the
real
bike
people
and,
there, right?
Yeah, and it's real
Okay.
time, and they have some cool routes.
like-
I mean, I guess they have some cool routes, but
It's like a biking MMO. Like
yeah. But my 200-pound ass on my bike, like if I'm gonna do a hill climb, like if I do a hill climb on my bike, like I've bent the actual like metal beam in between my pedals.
Uh-huh.
Well, one, I'm heavy. Two, I'm a power lifter. So when I rip up, like I have bent
fast.
pedals.
Yeah, right.
Because like I need to move my body weight. And this flimsy ass road bike, well, it's not flimsy. It was expensive as shit.
Mm-hmm.
But this road bike, which was made to be light and fast and compact, suddenly you get my 200 powerlifting pound ass ripping up these pedals like I've bent it. And my pedal's bent right now. I actually have to take it to a bench because
nice.
I bent it Zwifting during the winter.
Man, that's what I need. What I need is a bike.
Buy
That's
yourself
what I
a
need.
bike, you fat fuck.
Yeah, I need a
I'll take you on
bike.
my next 50 miler.
Maybe I'll just go on. I'll just get a used one. Maybe someone's like getting rid of one or something. I'll fix it up and do that maybe. Or yeah,
A bunch of people selling used bikes.
yeah, somebody's not using one.
To take it to Rudy's Bike Shop in Chicago. Shout out to Rudy's Bike Shop in Chicago.
They sell 'em too,
Rudy,
right?
yeah, best bike shop in the entire world. I've
it
only
like
been to
off
a
of,
handful
like,
of bike shops. It's
Irving
on
Park?
Irving Park Road, very near. It's like close to Irving Park Road and Major Avenue in Chicago, Illinois.
like where we used to live almost.
Rudy's Bike Shop, by far one of the best bike shops in the entire world.
Good service.
Best service. Are you kidding me? Best service.
Same owner.
Best customer care. Yeah, Rudy, the fucking hero, man. That
was like-
he is a living gem.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I need. That's next
Best
on my
bike shop.
agenda.
Yeah, get yourself a bike. I'll help you pick it out. You
Yeah.
want a road bike, mountain bike, hybrid bike?
See, I mean, like,
If
I'm
you go
probably a
mountain biking
hybrid.
with me, you need to sign a release form that I'm not responsible for your life.
yeah. See, that's the thing. When you do that shit and you come back with like a fucking not a splinter, but like a
just
giant piece of wood and like
Yeah.
fucking gore you.
Bleed, scratch skin off.
Yeah, I'm not about
Yeah,
that.
every time I go mountain
I'm trying to
biking,
enjoy myself.
I come out with an injury. Because
I'm like, this dude's-
I wipe out.
This
I
dude's
come out
going
bloody.
down. He's gonna. It's like there's a minimum of like 5 flips that you have to do. That's the minimum. If you don't do 5, then you're just not. You're not doing it right. Like
The amount of times I fucked my shit up mountain biking.
sounds
oh my god.
frightening, though.
I've picked pebbles out from under my like skin.
Oh my
Dear
god, that's
'cause
not
I'm like,
enjoyable, man. I
I
don't
am
want
fearless.
that.
I don't give a shit. I will go
I'm gonna get a
right
road
into.
bike.
I've crashed into trees. I've been.
I'll get a road bike just so I have the excuse to not do that. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get a road bike. Sorry, can't do it. I got a road bike. I can't do this.
Oh, but it's so much fun, dude.
Man,
It's.
I just want to be the hipster dude with a fixie bike.
Dude, if you get a fixie, our friendship is over forever.
I don't even know what a fixie bike is
Forever.
actually.
A fixie bike. It's a bike with no gears. It's a fixed gear bike.
Oh, okay.
Can you
okay.
imagine driving a car with only one gear?
You're just like, "Ning."
No, it's stupid. It's stupid. If you own a fixie, well, at least you're doing cardio. You know,
Right,
it's
yeah,
fine.
that's true.
It suits you. You know,
This is our-
you
this is
know,
our
you
guide
know,
to
it is what it
cardio
is.
right
It's our
now,
guide to
okay.
cardio. You know, it is what it is. But why do you hate yourself? Why do you hate yourself?
So one gear. So what gear is that? How fast are you going on a fixie? Are you like pedaling like really fast?
I
or-
don't know what the ratio is. It's some
Like-
fixed gear rate. I don't
Okay.
know. I've never owned a fixie. I don't intend to own a fixie.
Nah, I'd get I don't know, probably a road bike of some
Get
kind.
yourself a good bike,
Yeah, a road bike. Yeah, not a mountain bike.
a road bike. So
Yeah.
you have the excuse.
Yeah.
Hell, I might buy myself a second mountain bike and throw it at you and be like, "Here,
Here,
fuck you, let's
no
go.
excuse.
Let's go. Come on, let's go. Get it up."
Yes. I think that about does it. I think we covered it.
Yeah, I think we covered it. Though there is one form of cardio that we